Hi guys. Hey Vixen Doe, how you doing? Just gonna check and make sure that we're picking up on the other end. There we go. So tonight's show, we're covering the Canadian case of Evelyn Dick. Okay, no, no comments about that. Now I have put a link that I think I have pinned at the top, or thereabouts, where you can read a bit more about the case. Make sure that I pinned it. Yeah, it's pinned at the top, or it's been pinned, so you can look it up. I'm going to read some of what this case is about, and I'll be showing you some pictures and sharing, the screen that way. But first, let me say hello. Hello to all of you. Hope the sound is good, should be, right? We had a super hot day today, and I spent most of the day outside, and that was very, very good. Good to do. And I got a bit of sun. Well, my husband had surgery. So he had hernia surgery. He's back home. He's doing really, really well so far. And I think he had one of these. Great, good. He had a hernia surgery prior, so he was much more debilitated by that one than this one. So apparently he says they've figured out new ways to do it. So, he was like, he's up walking around, and, he's not exactly racing around, but yeah, he sounds like he's doing okay, just to make sure he doesn't, get infection or something like that. Okay, so let's take a look. We're going to be taking a look at this case together. Definitely had a Canadian viewer tip me to this case and that they wanted me to cover it. And I want to say thank you to them for being so patient. So I've had a lot of readings going on, especially with the war and everything like that. So I'm gonna read to you a little bit about Evelyn Dick. Now, she's kind of like, in a way, I want to say, the axe, but what's the murderer that she took an axe, and I'm forgetting. Anyway, she reminds me. I can't get the name up, but of the case of it's on the tip of my tongue, of the axe murders by, what's her name? She was. I have to get it. Sorry, I can't do it. It's not Basilica. Baliska, rather, but more. Whoops, wait a minute. Yes, thank you, Lizzie Borden. God, see, I can't. I get like obsessive about it. I have to find the right answer unless somebody gets it for me. Thank you so much, Heather. That's right, Lizzie Borden. Kind of reminds me a little bit of that. It was she had a very strange growing up. She was from a well-to-do family. Well, they came from Scotland, and they came here. Her family, trying to do better for themselves, and it kind of reminds me of the Trumps a little bit, of where Mary Trump, again coming from very poor area of Scotland, and then getting into America and having an opportunity through some fashion or another to live a very different lifestyle. And just to give you an idea, Evelyn Dick was born October 13th in 1920 to Scottish immigrants Donald and Alexandria MacLean. The first year of her life was spent living in Beamsville, Ontario, before her father accepted a job working for the Hamilton Street Railway as a streetcar conductor. Okay, and I'm taking this from Serial Napper site, and I will include it in the links. after the live. I will pop that in there too. I just like the way they condensed it. So it's apparently one of the most famous Canadian true crime cases. And there were little rhymes that kids used to say out on the playground, apparently. She cut off his arm, she cut off his legs. How could you, Mrs. Dick? How could you, Mrs. Dick? There was some sort of a rhyme that was apparently very popular after this murder took place. And Evelyn was really a beautiful looking young lady. Let me show you a picture. You know, you just never know with people. You gotta be so careful. So let me show you. Yes. So there she is. Let me just roll her up a little bit. Quite the debutante, right? Well, the thing is that she grew up in a very dysfunctional family. Alcoholics, and they sheltered her too much. So she didn't get a lot of socializing with other kids, which made her awkward. And there was always shouting, apparently, in her household. Her mother had a terrible temper, and it just wasn't good. Her parents felt like she was too fragile, apparently, to be out playing with the other neighborhood kids. And I think they wanted to, keep kind of a sense of specialness. And so they kept her inside. And apparently they did this exceptionally, just too much. The family moved to 214 Roslyn Avenue in Hamilton, which would become a place where some very horrific things would later happen. And as you can see, there she is. So both her parents wanted to fit into high society, not unlike that Mary Trump. In fact, they did quite well for themselves financially. They also had large amounts of money in the bank. They tried their best to live a better life, doing that, keeping up with the Joneses routine, than they did in Scotland, even if it was only by sheer appearance. Now, it was saying here, one of the ways that they tried to do this was by enrolling Evelyn in a very prestigious school, in a private school where only the elite of Hamilton attended. And the school was called the Loretto Academy, and it was an all-girls school. And it used to be in a beautiful historical building, but apparently that, unfortunately, was taken down. And it was just too expensive to keep up, I guess. That's too bad. But Evelyn tried to gain friendships using money, and it didn't work. So she was really beautiful. This could have created also some kind of like odd things with other girls at school. But she also was developing a habit of being a bit fast and going to the racetracks with older men. Okay. And yeah, it didn't end well. By the time she was 22, she gained this reputation, and it was 1942, and she was 22. She gave birth to a daughter named Heather, that she named Heather. And although that was an appropriate age, nobody was like looking at her like she had two heads because she was 22 and having a child. It was still very much that she was not wed. And so she was living a kind of a fast life. But it was okay. Evelyn, was reassured that she was going to actually be married to a man who was stationed overseas. And apparently he was the father of the baby. Therefore, she wasn't acting improperly. The only detail she gave of this man was that his last name was White. Later, it would be confirmed that this man never actually existed, and there was zero record of him. So, she's trying to, I don't think she knew. Just saying. Just a really strong feeling. I think she was engaging in some activities that she wasn't sure. 1944, Evelyn became pregnant again and gave birth to a baby boy named Peter. However, when she returned home from the hospital, the baby was not with her, and friends and neighbors began to ask questions. She told everyone that since she was already a single mother with a child, she had made the difficult decision to give Peter up for adoption. No further questions were asked. Okay, now it says to fast forward to 1945. Baby Heather is now 3 years old. Evelyn's mother, I'm going to be shuffling my cards while I think I'm going to use the Bright Future Tarot. So now fast forward to 1945, and her oldest is 3. And, the one that she's the cat, Heather. And her mother had separated from her father, Donald. Ooh. So the 3 decided to move into an apartment together in downtown Hamilton. About a month after moving into the apartment, Evelyn surprised everyone by announcing that she was engaged to a man named John Dick and was set to marry him in just 2 weeks. And her mother wasn't even, it says, aware that anyone was courting her. Actually, Evelyn had never made mention of him before. October the 4th, 1945, she and John were married at the Church of the Ascension. Sounds like Catholic Church. It is said that Evelyn's parents refused to attend the wedding. While Evelyn was excited to marry John, she thought that he was wealthy, and her parents completely disapproved of the marriage. Get ready for this girl. Ooh, she's a bad one. She is warped energy. Just gonna get the mic right. Okay, so I'm trying to get this down to it. John, who ends up being the victim, well, one of the main victim in this, was born in 1906. And he was 15 years older than Evelyn, and he moved to Hamilton 2 years prior to meeting her there. Prior to that, he had moved to Canada with his family from Russia. So John Dick, that doesn't sound very Russian to me, but I'm sure they changed it. So John was absolutely smitten with Evelyn from the minute he saw the very beautiful woman who claimed she was a widow and her husband had died in the war. John was a Hamilton Street railway conductor, just like Evelyn's father. Quite a striking man. Let's see, did I get a picture up? Yep, there you can see him. And hello, Jake. Hi, everyone that's coming in. I'm just covering the case. There's a link pinned at the top of the chat log so that you can read about the case we're covering. You're very welcome, Jake. Not a problem. Glad to be of help. Thank you for coming back and saying thank you. It means a lot. It really does. Okay, so back to the case very quickly about John, who's going to end up without limbs and just be a torso that's found by children horrifically. And as strange as it seems, okay, they had been married for almost about a month before they began to live together. Wow. So she decided to remain in an apartment with her mother. Off to a great start. She decided to stay in an apartment with her mother and saying that there just simply wasn't enough room for them all to live there. And that really bothered John, apparently. I don't know. You would have thought that he would have thought, well, gee, I don't have to have the mother-in-law. This is a nice bit of a break. But apparently no. Apparently no, this bothered him. And Eventually, Evelyn decided to buy a home on Carrick Avenue for the family, but the odd part was that John Dick's name was not on the mortgage, and it is believed that he put none of the initial deposit money down. Live in a classy place. Anyway, yeah. Okay. So it was only Evelyn herself who bought the home, and it wasn't long until the couple separated. Evelyn began to realize that John wasn't quite as wealthy as she thought he was, and so she began leaving baby Heather at home with John and going out to fancy parties, to meet other men. Of course, right? She's so classy. Anyway, by all accounts, the relationship was, can you believe it, stormy, and ended quickly. According to Time magazine, only 5 days after her marriage, she committed adultery. And John moved out of the home and moved in with his cousin. And he was completely heartbroken. However, Evelyn appeared unfazed by the whole situation. That's another one of those things where, like the Chris Watts thing where they've got nothing and you just kind of go, something's not right there. And that should have been the end of it, apparently. But it wasn't, not by a long shot. On March 16th, 1946, a year later or so, a gruesome discovery is made by 5 children playing outside of the Hamilton's escarpment, or what locals call the mountain. They found what they initially thought was a headless pig amongst some brush. But upon closer examination, the discovery was, proved to be the torso of an adult male. And the torso had a wound across the abdomen as if someone tried to cut it in half. Okay. The head, arms, and legs were nowhere to be found. This is John. And as you can imagine, this news spread quickly. And people were terrified. Some sadistic nut is out there doing this. John's cousin, Alexander Kammerer, heard the news of the discovery of the torso. When he heard that news, he went to the police station because he was worried that it might be related to the disappearance of John. And according to his cousin, John had actually been missing since May 6th, shortly after separating from his wife, Evelyn. He had simply vanished without a trace and hadn't gone to work, hadn't contacted friends or family. That old thing, So his cousin's hunch was accurate, and the identification of the remains by doctors and a positive ID by family led police to the conclusion that they had found the remains of John Dick. Now, the very thing about how they were able to identify John's remains, bear with me here. We won't go too beyond, but she thought she was basically marrying a sugar daddy, and there's all kinds of problems. Part of the torso was identified by a cyst on his buttock and an undescended left, I think it was, testicle. And his cousin was apparently familiar that he had this problem. So anyway, they kind of wondered how come there would be this thing. Some were kind of like, that raises eyebrows. But anyway, so the police end up hearing about this tumultuous marriage between Evelyn and John. And I'm sure the cousin, had something to say about it. Okay. And they go to Evelyn to ask her some questions to see what she's going to say and if she's going to be able to be of any help. And this is 1946, okay? So you got to remember the time and the era. And when they told her that they had confirmed that the torso was that of her husband, late husband, John Dick, They expected to see a woman in tears, somebody that's like in shock or like freaking out or fainting. Sometimes people faint, but no. Evelyn simply remarked, "Don't look at me. I don't know anything about it." Just, shrug it off. Next, she told a story of an Italian hitman who may be responsible, and that this hitman had showed up at her door looking for John, saying that he was going to, quote, fix him for messing around with his wife. And the man never gave, of course, the name to Evelyn or anything like that. So she wasn't sure just, who that was. No, more lies. The story was, of course, ludicrous, so the police let her go because it's 1946. And they continued, though, to keep an eye on her. And they discovered that she had borrowed a large Packard car from a man named Bill Landig. And when Landig received the car back from Evelyn, the front seat was covered in blood. I mean, like, she didn't clean up? What's this? The seat covers had also been removed, and there was a pile of bloody clothing in the trunk. Instead of cleaning up the mess, Evelyn left a note on the car saying that her daughter, Heather, had cut herself. And that's why there was such a bloody mess. I guess DNA forensics weren't too good back then. Obviously not. That didn't come about until the 90s. But the police were able to determine that it was the same blood type as John Dick. So police brought her in for questioning. And this time her story became more muddled about the Italian hitman and more elaborate. And she explained that the Italian hitman hadn't come to the door, but he had called her. So she's starting to change things. Another red flag. And it's saying that, what was it? She had and told her that John had made another woman pregnant and that he was getting trying to get away from what was coming to him. And the man asked her to meet with him. So she borrowed a car to meet him, and Evelyn met this man, and he said he had a large sack with him, and he said that he had part of John in there. I mean, this is the nuttery that she is cooking up and feeding these guys. I don't think I could be a police person. I honestly do not. I think that I would just want to throttle these people. Now, on the outset, I can say I don't really know why somebody wanted me to cover this case, because they know what she did, and it's pretty apparent to me in some ways why she did what she did. But I'm guessing that that's what we're going to be looking at. So apparently, she wasn't alarmed, and her lack of alarm, her shifting stories just really finally made them take another much more sincere look at her. And she was saying that a pretty mean trick to break up a home, and after she had claimed that he had been cheating with a married woman, and unlike what she was doing, referring to the supposed woman that he had allegedly impregnated. And of course, this was not true. This is all her complete projection. And she had no emotion when it came to the demise of her husband. Once again, she changed the statements. Okay. I'm not going to go through all of that because what's the point? But she was just very intelligent. while all this was happening and she was giving her statements and turning on this guy that had helped her, that Bill, the one that the car, investigators go to her home and on Carrick Avenue to search for clues or maybe more pieces of John. Who knows? Yuck. In a trunk in the attic, they made a gruesome discovery. No, it wasn't Bill. But it was a beige suitcase filled with concrete and the remains, oh my God, of the baby boy, Peter, who she had said that she had given up for adoption. Oh, God. All right. Faced with the turn of events, having been told that Bill had been brought in for questioning, Evelyn told another story that Bill had murdered the child along with John, and there was no evidence to support this statement. In fact, police searched the McLean home where Evelyn grew up and where her father Donald still lived, and they found incriminating evidence such as bullet holes in a pipe, a revolver and cartridges, saws, a bloodstained shoes, and almost all were certainly John's. And at that time, Evelyn Dick, Bill Bozick, and Donald McLean, that's her father, were charged with the murder of John Dick. Okay, so the trial was to be one of the biggest media frenzies that Hamilton had ever seen. Crowds turned up all around the courthouse with people just dying to catch a glimpse of the beautiful Evelyn, who was the murderess. And, you know, it's unusual. You have this beautiful, well kind of healed young woman that they're bringing in for doing this horrific crime, and then the child and all of this. Although there wasn't any evidence to show that she had killed her husband, there was evidence to show that she had some knowledge and participated in some capacity. During her first trial, she was found guilty of John Dick's murder. Okay. She was sentenced to hang. And although she may not have killed John with her own hands, and truth be told, nobody really knew if she had or hadn't, Evelyn was guilty by participating in the planning and carrying out of the crime, which was enough to find her guilty of murder under the law. Bill Bohosuk and Donald McLean, Evelyn's father, had a joint trial. Bill walked because Evelyn was the only witness, and she actually refused to testify. Donald McLean was found to be guilty as an accessory after the fact and sentenced to 5 years in prison. Evelyn actually went on to hire a new lawyer and had her case appealed. The verdict was overturned because her new lawyer was able to argue, my God, that Evelyn's statements to police were improperly admitted into evidence and that the trial judge had not properly instructed the jury. She was never charged with anything else related to Dick's murder. However, Evelyn was found guilty of manslaughter for the death of baby Peter and sentenced to life in Kingston Penitentiary. And in 1958, 11 years later, she was paroled on November 10th, 1958, and she was released from prison. She was given a new name and was able to start a completely new life. So I think I now know what the person that asked me to read on is going to ask me to read on. Evelyn was granted a pardon, which meant that she no longer had to report to the parole board, and her file is sealed forever. Thanks, Canada. Yeah. So what was to come to Evelyn? Nobody knows. Maybe the cards will, and that's what we're going to find out. It's speculated that she started a new life and identity, obviously, and possibly remarried and maybe even had more children. I really hope she had herself sterilized. Why? Just don't. To this day, no one has ever been convicted for the murder of John Dick. Oh my God, y'all. Woo! Let me get a drink of my Mexican Coca-Cola. Yeah. She ended up getting released in 1958. She got a pardon. Not to be puny, but it seems pretty cut and dried. Yes, but no. Because the question I think they're going to want to know is what happened to her? Where did she go? What was her life? Did she have any more children? If she did, hopefully she didn't bring any more harm to anyone else. This could be a very big miscarriage of justice. And the fact that nobody can find out, just, she's not showing up at bars, I guess, like Casey Anthony, apparently. Yeah. So I think there's not, I think there's actually quite a bit that could be looked at. I was like, first like that too. It's like, well, what do you want me to, kind of, it's not solving it, but it's what happened to her. Where did she go? I'm going to let my hair down, you guys. I washed it again earlier, and it's kind of, I put it up all wet. And I was out in the sun. Oops, sorry. So, yeah, where did she go? Did she? I'm going to find out. I've got the cards. I think I got a little bit too much sun on my back. My hair. Yeah, and what happened to Heather? Who took care of Heather? So there's so much, I'm sure, that we can continue to read on with this case. Another one that I'm going to be plumbing the depths, continue, of Reddit. I am starting a social link over there, although I just am getting used to how that platform works. So first, I'm going to focus on, we're going to find out what happened to Heather. We're going to find out what we can about what happened to her after she left. If she is still alive, and kind of get a sense if she stayed around Hamilton. I'm sure she probably left, but you never know with people. Some people are very odd, and they have very certain things, like they don't always like to travel far and away. So there's all kinds of things we can ask. So I'm just going to type again the name of the case here, and this is I always end up handed typing here. Evelyn Dick. Ha 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 ha. We laugh because we are immature. Okay. And this is, I'm going to put Hamilton. What? No, not Q. That's an H. And I'm going to put Canada. Okay. Indigo, are you able to pop on? If you are, if you're not, that's fine. If you just want to do it by text, that's fine. But if you're open to joining me, you're more than welcome. You got the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords, I guess. The Tower, the Moon, and the King of Pentacles. A wealthy man. She liked the sugar daddies. Apparently this was, she liked, her target was wealthy, older men. That sounds to me like she found somebody. And that moon to me is the new identity. He probably didn't know who he was meeting. Oh my God, gotta look and see what happened. Okay, so let's see what I get. Okay, let me just drop down the link. This is for Heather, you guys. I'm just going to have it be two of us. Okay. Sure. Invite. There we go. Copy to clipboard. Hi, Greeter TAK. How are you? Thank you for showing up. There we go. Okay, Heather. Okay, gotta move my cords here. Let's see what I get. Where did she go after she was released? Okay, and we have Heather. There we go.
Hello.
Hello. So I'm just going to look and see what I get as having happened to her after she was released.
Well, when you were telling her story, reading her story, I was putting cards out, and for being brought up, her parents did affect the way she turned out mentally. I was getting, you know, Wheel of Fortune and being invert. I got the Hangman. I got card for the mother, and so it was just all this emotionally inverted childhood. You know,
Frustration is
it
what I
messed her
felt.
up. And when I came to read about the death of the husband, I got the lover's card. Well, not the lover's card, but the Two of Cups.
Mm-hmm.
So she had somebody,
Yeah.
protecting her and took care of that mess, because the rest of the cards afterwards just spelled it right out. Because I already put them away because I didn't know I was going to come on. So so what the last one I got, when you said she was given a new life, that's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, more money, new money, new beginnings, new,
More
the Ace
privilege.
of Swords. The Tower card, I guess, was like her old life falling down, and
Mm-hmm.
she tried rebuilding it secretly with a new man of money.
Yeah.
So hopefully she didn't kill this one too.
That's what I'm going to see. I'm going to see, did this guy survive? How
But then
long?
they said nothing about Heather. And
Yeah,
I'm
so
like, well, what the
there's a
hell happened?
lot see we could look at. Like what happened
And couldn't
and
she
really
testify?
and then manslaughter to that child. No. She did that cold-heartedly. That what she did to her baby boy, bound in cement in a suitcase in the attic.
She could have just given it up for adoption.
Leave it at a, even then,
Yeah.
gas, a fire station,
Hmm.
take them to the hospital, drop them off to a church back
Well,
in the
she was
day.
emotionally stunted because of her. Not just you can't blame parents, but people got to realize back in those days there wasn't TVs really. There wasn't social media.
No,
People really didn't know. I
she
mean,
was
and the way
very
she was
isolated.
brought up, she got lack of empathy. You
And I
know.
get like fantasy worlds.
Mhm. Yep.
So there's no sense of consequence.
She's just very cold.
Oh, God. Yeah. You create a monster, you create a narcissist.
Mhm. So are
Like,
we reading on Heather?
all we got to do is think about Donald Trump, and there's kind of like,
Even
yeah,
that
let's.
name. Every time I see him, we got a guy on Niagara Falls Boulevard with this big, huge ass flag with his picture on it that says, "You miss me yet?" I'm like,
No, never,
no.
never, ever. All right, let's see what I'm gonna get. Yeah, it's like I tried to steer clear him because he's one of them that just makes me fit to be tied. I can
Yeah,
feel.
I
Oh
can't
yeah, I just
watch.
felt my. Yeah,
I feel bad that I can't. I just can't watch the
yeah, but it's
videos
like
that you post with Ukraine, because I'm getting so upset. I'm getting sick to my stomach, and it's like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, Maya, I can't
No,
watch
don't.
the
The
videos.
reason I feel like I have to is my family history. I mean,
Yeah,
my mother was born fleeing this world, the same war that because
yeah,
Putin was
that I
not Putin, but
understand.
so it's just like oh my god, I feel like I've been hit by a brick most days. It's just like this is oh my god, this is weird
Mhm.
watching this. Um, but
So
back to Evelyn Dick.
back to,
Um,
we're going to read on her daughter, right?
yeah, I want to throw my cards and see what I get as to
Yeah.
where what I also may pick up as to where she went or just whatever after she was
I mean,
released.
it's odd that she is dropped from the story completely after that.
Yep. Somebody paid somebody off to look the other way.
Oh yeah,
Wealthy
we saw the
family.
movie Chicago, right?
Mm-hmm. And then her dad, he got
Because,
off very light.
you know, movie Chicago, you know, they pay off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, that's not a card I want to start out with for Heather. I got the death card for the first card for Heather.
Mm. But maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it means a radical change for the
rebirth,
better.
yeah.
Away from a sicko mom and breaking a cycle.
I've been getting a lot of fours, you know. Yeah, because the original, she wanted, you know, stability. She didn't have that as a
Mm-hmm.
child, so and
Yeah.
then, you know, with the money she wants, you know, so I'm getting a lot of fours in these readings, and I got another one.
Wow.
But for
And
Heather,
I've got the 7 of Swords and I've got the reversed 3 of Pentacles. So that just shows deceit in trying to work other
yeah,
people, trying to use other people.
yeah, I think Heather was okay because I got this is for me like a card of protection. She was
Mm.
being protected.
And yes.
The
Oh, well, I got
four
the
of
7 of Swords.
the four of
Mm-hmm.
swords, safe, and then a king of wands. So possibly a male relative or somebody with that type of personality, you know, took control and raised her to keep her, you know, from that.
That's
Maybe
true.
even into adoption, maybe. Who knows?
And Vixen Doe made a
Protected.
good point. Has there been any rich gent that disappeared or was found deceased in Canada in the 1960s or 70s? Because that would have been about the era then that our femme fatale here may have snared another sugar daddy.
Yeah, she may even cross the, you know, borders and came into America too.
Yeah, so what I'm getting here is the 3 of Swords. So there's a lot of anger and, like you said, this deep, deep wound going, it just like shards. There's so much, I get mental frustration on her part that she can't live the way that she wants to live.
Heather?
I know I'm tapping into what's her name?
Oh,
The
Evelyn?
killer, Evelyn. That's what they're showing me. And yeah, the 4 of Swords. So the 3 of Swords, the 4 of Swords, you're talking about somebody that's a really sick
Four of
person.
Swords is what I got. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She should have, and she may have been. I wonder, well, yeah, because she was for a period of time in there. I was going to say, was she institutionalized? Duh. Yeah, she was in an institution for a while until they released her. But I think that didn't help her. I think she walked out of there a
Uh,
lot
I think she got
more.
out there because of money and or,
Mm-hmm.
you know, services provided, if you know what I mean.
Yes. Yes, I do, because I get the Ace of Wands and the 2 of Wands. There's some sexy stuff going on. Yuck.
Yeah.
It's activity. It's and blocking and just using people, passion, dominion, conflict. So she's still out there stirring up some drama.
Yeah, for Heather, I got Two of Swords, so she was split because of this. I mean, for the swords and the mental,
Mm,
she's, you know, the blindfold. I don't even know if she knew what was what. Judgment card, but I did
mm,
get Ten of Pentacles, so I think she was, you know, secure. You know, at least financially, she was supported. You know, for the rest of her life. Um,
yeah, I'm
I'm
sure
hoping
the
that
grandfather.
somebody, yeah,
And I have to think that she would get back in contact with. She knew where she could get through to her dad. I get, yeah. There's the hidden.
yeah, but Heather doesn't. Nobody knew who Heather's dad was.
Yeah. Because she got around.
Yeah.
The 4 of Wands. So yeah, she did settle, and I do think she did marry another guy,
Mm-hmm.
because I do get that feeling of settling down. There is a couple. I feel like I'm being shown a new relationship, but he doesn't know who the hell she is. Let's see what happens with that. I get a page of cups. That to me is a child. But I get the Wheel of Fortune reversed. So I wonder if there was another pregnancy that she stopped or miscarried with this man. Now, I don't know if it was on purpose or not. Okay, let me see what else. The Nine of Wands, resilience. She certainly has that, if nothing else. And the Queen of Pentacles. I think she was a Queen of Pentacles here, definitely. The money.
Yeah. I got Nine of Pentacles, so she did have her little world, her little garden, her little mental of what
I think
wanted.
she had quite a good lifestyle, but I think she was still very fractured, very. She still carried a lot of that life and that mindset with her in this marriage. I wonder. I just got to see what happens.
Well, I got the Chariot. So maybe this relationship was a little more stable. Or she was, a little more in control of, because I got the Knight of Pentacles. So more money,
She's got a lot on the line. She's got a lot to lose this time.
And the Ace of Pentacles. So there's just a lot of money in these cards. So.
Oh, wow. I'm getting this pattern again and again. I'm getting the 10 of Swords, which shows basically like a coffin looking thing here, and there's, and it's about endings. And then I get the 10 of Pentacles, but it was reversed, and that's about family inheritance. I think she got another dude. I think she did him for the inheritance. She did it again.
Maybe that could be the money that was slowly coming in, the Knight of Pentacles.
Yeah, I think
slowly buying her time, and there's the money.
She did it again. I think she did it again. I get 2 10s. And the Hanged Man. Maybe she made it look like, oh, he killed himself. It's terrible. That's what I'm thinking. The Tower. Yeah, like he suddenly killed himself. She set him up. This woman is shrewd.
Unless the Hangman represented that he finally saw her as who she was. So the different.
Yeah, I mean, this could be the sudden insight, maybe as the axe is coming down to his face. I don't know. Or hopefully he would get away or something. I got the Lovers reversed, to be honest, and then I got the Queen of Wands. So I think that's her as well. That
fiery.
I think if you made her mad or jealous, I think she was really jealous and possessive in some sense. I think that she'd make you pay. Yeah. 8 of Wands, organized, dynamic, and she would plan something out. Just like she did, get in the car, getting people to do this, that, and helping her to take care of her husband, first husband. And I get the Sun. So there might be some trail yet, if you knew what to look for, that you could find with regard to her. I wonder, with the Sun, there's something being exposed with this 8 of Wands, and that is, yeah, go ahead.
Now I got I asked if she married again, and kind of did the same thing, and I got Page of Pentacles, so something brand new, something started. The 2 of Cups again.
Yep.
And then I got the 4 of Pentacles, financial security, and the Hangman. So we both got the Hangman.
Can you pull some clarifiers on your Hangman?
And then the 9 of Cups.
Pleasures.
So maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to do something.
6 of Swords, logic,
temperance, patience,
and the illusion.
I'm getting a lot of major arcana now. Her temperance, she was patient.
Mm-hmm.
The hermit.
And then she moved again. And she went undercover again.
The last card.
Death. Mm.
She asked for clarifiers, and she's like, no, I don't have to. I just need to keep pulling. And that's it. Hanged Man. Then again, the temperance, major arcana. The hermit. Oop, sorry. The hermit.
That's all right.
Major arcana.
And I get that she I think changed her name again and would just carry on and move around and do this thing.
Started all over again.
Yeah, like a circus act. It was a scam.
Just divorce. Why do you have to kill somebody? Get alimony.
I think it gave her it must have excited her in some weird way. I think those people actually like doing that kind of thing. Ooh.
I'm just going to shuffle one more time and just see if, did Evelyn kill any more men? Instead of saying a husband or anything. Because she may not even marry these people.
You may have already answered this. Yeah, she does sound like a narcissist, Doris Smith. Her father was convicted of killing her husband with manslaughter and charged as an accomplice. But she was the one that really
he would never turn on her.
No, and she wouldn't turn on him. She wouldn't testify. So you may have already.
Sure Canadian courts are the same as Americans. Once you are acquitted, you can't be retried for the same murder.
I don't know either about that now. I would be very curious to know. I like to learn things like that. The differences. Okay, yeah. Oh, I see, Dora. Yikes. Yes. So they came. Her father and her and this Bill Bohosov, her lackey. It sounds to me like.
Now, what happened to him? He walked away because they couldn't prove it. So maybe she hooked back up again with him.
This was definitely some sort of ongoing scam that she was running afterward. Yeah, it's called I can't talk. Double Jeopardy. Remember, did you guys all see that good old film? The classic Double Jeopardy. What was that called?
I don't know.
I know it's called Double Jeopardy. It's really good. And did her father... Oh, yes. S.A. her as a child. That's a good question. It seems unnatural, doesn't it? But you never know.
That was my... I hate to say it, but with the boy being pregnant, her being pregnant with the boy or the daughter, I hope it wasn't anything with... I mean...
Yes, Barbara Stanwyck, Calla Lily. She's great. Sorry.
Now, when I asked if she murdered any more men, I did get the tower.
Swift.
Yeah. I have a couple.
They didn't see what was coming. I think she was very clever.
3 of Pentacles. So she knew how to paint. She was very artistic in this manner.
Oh my God.
And there are people to help her. So she was, when you get money and you get it, like these rich kids.
Yeah.
They cause an accident. They kill somebody. Their rich people come take care of it.
They get a fixer.
And they put it to rest.
Yeah. They get a fixer. But this time, I think her father must have known somebody in the courts that did them a great big favor. I'm going to take a look at
Pentacles.
That. Yep, you got it right there.
The other.
There's the corruption. Her father must have known someone.
I'm going to read on the father.
Okay, and I'm going to look at when she passed. I want to see, did she live very long? I have a feeling she may have.
How old would she be?
Well, she was born in 1922, I believe. So let me just double check on that.
Well, my friend Patty, her dad's over 80 now.
And I think my granny was 1915 or something like that, or 1920 something, early 20s. She was so beautiful. It just is like weird. Okay, so 1920, guys, October 13th, 1920, in Beamsville, Ontario. The first year of life, that's where she spent. And her father had accepted a job for the Hamilton Street Railway as a street car conductor. And then they moved to Hamilton, the Rosalind Avenue address, where the horrific things, that's where I guess the first husband met his fate.
Ugh, I wonder if anyone's ever investigated that house.
Ooh. We'll have to do it with the cards.
Or they'll say, do haunt the house.
It's 101 where you're at, Dora. It's hot here today, guys. I'm guessing that's what she put. Let's take a look, though. My brain's everywhere. There's so many places it wants to go. I'm just trying to let it kind of settle so I can figure out which one I want to look at. But I'm going to look at, I want to see if she lived very long. Because I want to know how many other people this lady did this to. She's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What a freaking case. I didn't think it was going to, have so much to unpack.
I'm just going to go mute for a second so I can focus on the...
Do what you need to. Beverly would be 101. Her age. Okay, thank you. Right, because my grandma just passed. And she was 95, 96. So, yeah, that would make about sense. It's hot here. Whew. Just cooling off here. Okay. I turned the hose on myself today, you guys. I was outside hitting, I straight up shot the thing right in the face. Just water. It was so hot out there. So she would be at this point, if she were to be in the unlikely event, and it's very unlikely that, over 100 years old. So I don't think that she would be alive, but I just kind of want to get to see how long did she get to live?
Oh, boy. So I asked that question.
You did too?
About the father.
Oh, yes. Oh, that question. Oh. I don't think I really like that. Justice.
Now wait for this one.
No, God, gross. Okay.
And it was kept in the family.
Really in the family. Because, that's nasty. Nasty people. What the... man. It's like she kept killing men over and over and over again. No women.
I'm wondering if it's because of...
She killing dad over and over again?
Because of how she was raised.
Absolutely, because I got the Six of Cups, the card of nostalgia, you guys, and the Five of Swords, which is discussion, persuasion. Here, I'll show you in this deck. This is, again, the Bright Future Tarot.
Someone wanted to say hi to you, Maya.
Kitty! Hello, Kitty. I see you, Fluffy.
This is the short hair one.
So
this cute. Is Mozzie.
Hi, Mozzie.
He was reading with me the other night. He kept pushing cards out of my hands. So I'm like,
Bear does that sometimes. That is so funny. Maybe
I think that's why she wanted to leave and she moved on, was because of to get away from her father.
Hi, Sheila, Angel Feather
Peter
Tarot.
Was her father's, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, but I was
and the father didn't. Made sure that it was, that's sick.
Sorted.
Yes, it is.
It is believed that Mr. Borden, yes, was doing the same thing
to Lizzie.
I read that too. And just the whole energy of this case just feels so. Thank you, Sheila. You tell him. Got to have you on too. And we've got Kitty here handling the any kind of trolls. He's going to get those claws, those murder mittens, and true crime them. No. Let's see. I'm going to see. I wonder what happened to the likes of the mother as well. I suppose,
yeah,
you know.
We don't hear anything about the mother.
No. What was going on? Well, the mother also, both parents were alcoholic. So lovely.
And if you remember, they said how beautiful Evelyn was.
God, she was just stunning. I mean, truly, if you looked at her, you would not get, unless maybe you started talking to her and you get the pick up more, but just on the outside, she certainly did not look like someone who would do this. And I want to see.
I just say maybe because of the father too.
I think so. I mean,
beautiful than the mother.
She just kept killing men. So there's something about that. Let me just see. So, okay. At the end of the day, she wanted stability. And her parents, I think, had taught her that fear of lack that Trump's family did too, you know, to fear ever being poor. You can never be poor. And that, I think, at any cost. But then why would she? I think she got bored with them. I think it became a game of entertainment to her. I can only think. Let me just see what I get on that. Why was she? What do I need to know about that? That is just.
I'm still shuffling on the mother, just to kind of get a feel of what was her frame of mind.
Yeah.
Her part in all this.
Hey, Kelly. Nice to see ya.
Oh, Kelly doesn't cats?
Yeah.
She says hi. So. Hi.
She's just popping in to say hello. It is hot here, you guys. I got the skylights open and I'm just starting to sweat. Okay, let's see. Oh, yeah. She got a charge off of doing it. It was like the drama in her life. This aspect of restraint, this aspect of taking control of them made her feel very, yeah. And look at this. This looks like the gold digger with the car here, you guys. This is like, she's all fancy, but she's up to no good. Trapped, buried trauma. So I think that,
remember that song from the late 80s by Pebbles? Do you want to ride my Mercedes, boy?
Oh, yeah.
What you gonna do? Okay, I gotta be careful so YouTube doesn't.
You don't sing too well.
Yeah.
Cooking your dinner. What are you having? I hope it's good.
So for her mom, I got Ace of Swords and an Ace of Cups. So mental, emotional.
Looks like she was just like.
But then I got the King of Wands. And then 10 of Pentacles. And this one here has to do with, like, I keep both of them in the deck because one is like a worldly, like earth material, that kind of material, and this one here shows a actual like courthouse or you know, that type of,
because she was going and appealing building.
So I'm wondering if her mother ended up going to a psychiatric ward, a hospital.
Ooh. You know what, when people drink, it can, once they get older, they can start into, as you guys know, pasta. I love pasta. But
yeah, that tonight.
Lucky. But many times they develop memory problems and Alzheimer's prematurely from drink. You can suffer brain damage from that, from drinking for a long time throughout your life. So that wouldn't surprise me. I got the strength card and the emperor, the father. So this
Yeah.
really all boils back to dad, because he was the one throwing. I feel like mother did not wear the pants in that family.
Well, the dad went to jail for life, right?
Not for life. No, no. He got manslaughter. He
Okay, so
did. Let me
he
see.
got out. So she probably
Yeah.
went back to him.
We don't know, because once eventually, she was released under a different name, whatever, hidden away. Um,
No, the mother.
oh, the mother?
That's who those. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to know what the hell happened to the mother, being complacent and all.
Yeah.
That was a different time back then, though.
I feel like the father was just, uh, he was somebody to be endured.
Yeah.
And
I'm just going to do a layout for the father, just to kind of get a baseline of what you know.
mm-hmm, that's a good idea.
Unless there was something other specific that you wanted, you know, to address
No,
first.
I think that's a good one. I'm just thinking about what I want to look at. There's so many things, but I want to narrow it down. Um, let's see. Yeah, first I'm going to see, did she live? How many times was she able to do this before she popped her clogs? Basically, how many times did
Yeah,
she
I
do
didn't get I
this?
didn't get a number, but it said that she has done it again since,
Yeah,
at
I
least
saw it.
once.
I felt like it was done more than once. I felt like there was at least maybe two or three, honestly. But let me see. That's what I'm going to look at. Before she passed, how many guys
That's
did
hard.
she fool and poach? 10 of Cups. Oh my God. Hopefully not 10.
Oh, good Lord.
Contentment family. And the Wheel of Fortune. Two tens.
Mm.
And then we get the High Priestess, which is a 2. Her sneaky sneak, things that we don't know.
Yeah.
And the
The
10 of
tens are
Wands,
coming
another
to an end of
10.
a cycle.
Yeah, so I think she actually lived a fairly long time with this. I do. I think she was able to live a fairly long time. And she lived in a hidden way, and it was burden. It was some kind of burden though for her at the end of it though.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been told another good word for that card too is oppressive. There's
Yes.
an oppressive, you know.
It is absolutely. I mean, she's walking upstairs and she's got this bundle that's bending her back, over forward. Um, so I feel like when I think she did this quite a bit, but I think that when it was her turn, I think that there was nobody there for her. I think by that point she killed off anybody that could have been there for her. Um,
Her dad was emotionally and mentally manipulative.
yes,
Then you don't have,
absolutely.
it doesn't help that you have the mother who has a bad temper as well.
Yes,
And I
the
do
mother was
believe she must
noted.
have asked for help at some point. I think Evelyn tried possibly reaching out, because something like that saying, help me,
Yeah.
you got that behind you. So,
And then we have Sanctuary again. Here we have,
and that's a
she could have
sanctuary
been in,
too.
I wonder, did she go back into some kind of, I think when she got older, she went into a home. I do.
Yeah.
And I think she had issues. I think she was confused. Definitely, I think she got some kind of
Dementia just
Alzheimer's.
jumped into my
Ye-
head.
Exactly. Same thing. The exact same thing. Just right as you said that. And I was looking at this card, which is the High
I'm going to ask
Priestess.
that.
And there's a clock, if you can see in that upper right.
And it's melting. She's losing track of time,
Yeah. And look, because
memory,
it's kind of like,
or Alzheimer's too.
mm-hmm. So it's very interesting in that. And the fact that I got 1, 2, 3 tens makes me feel again like she got to live a little longer than she wanted to. I think that was part of it, part of the burden. One of the things that they say is that you want to, if you've done anything that horrible, you want to take on whatever burdens you can to carry in this life to kind of lessen that karma, so to speak, because you do not want to face that in the afterlife. But this lady, I'm curious about that. I mean, her father really is the one that is responsible for creating her like this. But at the end of the day, you have to, I don't know, how much of this did she decide that she personally wanted to do? Well, all of it, I think.
Unless the wanting for help might have been the mother wanting her to get help, but I don't know. There's just something that somebody was trying to ask for help,
Yeah.
and because of that was in when I did the lay down for the father.
Oh, now I'm getting the
Um,
father card, or King of Swords, and the sun, bliss,
yeah, I think
intellectual.
she died like that. I got the Empress, I got the Page of Swords, and then I got the Two of Swords. Her mind split.
Yeah.
She can't, and she's blinded, so she can't remember, make decisions. There's just too much. Um,
They were
that Page
both
of Swords. Yeah.
alcoholics, but was she? I mean, there's no.
But why would I get the Empress? Empress. Well, she was a mother, but still.
Yeah, well, she gave birth to children, and that kind of counts on a technicality. It was, this her issue was about control, dominion, and conflict. She was setting up the same pattern over and over again. And what was she trying to? She was trying to regain. I feel like for her it was.
She was trying to regain control of her life or something
Yep,
that she felt. And I think that fragmentation started at a young age with those parents.
absolutely. I think some preliminary cards that I pulled for her earlier today were cards of disassociation. You know, so I thought, oh boy, well, this will be one. And again, she has, though, I think, a real skill at persuasion, and she must, because she just with these guys,
This came up again for her.
the
Queen of
queen.
Queen of Wands.
Yep, charm,
Smack to
sexual,
yeah.
knows what a
I wanted a
man.
card for, instead of the Empress.
Mm-hmm.
And that's,
Went to bars a lot, men buying her drinks. Yeah.
sounds like my mother.
Hmm.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I mean,
my,
we've
my,
all had people in
she
our
did her
family.
thing too, like, but I don't, she didn't murder anybody. She
Yeah,
cut up their torsos.
kind of slow suicide for the self. Um, to drink yourself. The Seven of Wands and the Lovers. So she found a competition as well. She got off on it again. This thing of can I get them to.
Well, because she was trying to compete maybe for her dad. It's that sick, twisted, like, when the mother doesn't. Never mind. I don't know,
Yeah,
but you know what I mean with the
yeah. the competition thing and being,
competing for daddy's attention. And
yeah,
mother
competing for men's attention. And I think any kind of rejection from these men, I don't know. I think she rejected them before they even knew what hit them.
And maybe these men that she was with reminded her of her dad, because the guy was also
she picked
a
older.
rail worker.
Yeah. And she
And
kept
he was
picking
older than her.
15 years.
So daddy issues right there too.
Great
That's
big
evidence.
daddy issues. Yeah. So to me, it's like she's killing her dad over and over again. Yeah, King of Wands entrepreneur. That's her father, because he came to America and he yada yada yada, charismatic as well. And the Two of Cups bonding. Yeah, that just, it feels like those two were unnaturally close. And I got the love. Oh God, you know,
Ace of
strength.
Cups.
Yeah, that's
it.
a real sick family. And
He was
yeah.
very protective of her, that young, immature, protective, emotional, yeah.
Knight of Cups, and again, strength. So she's enduring. This is courage, self-control, karmic meeting, and it's got that kind of a romantic tinge to it with the Knight of Cups, soulmate.
You know what I think about this card too? I know that for a lot of women, when they have been attacked or they are going through the SA, they have a way of leaving their bodies.
I did.
Okay.
Yep.
And so for her, that might have been a regular routine where she would have to leave and disassociate.
I think a lot. And I think that's how she was able to do this over and over again, because she had developed no conscience. You know, it became a game almost. And I think the father took part in it just as much as her, which is, it's just like, I think the mother just must have been drunk and at home, you know, while these two were out
too afraid to say
doing never do wells. I still don't understand how, like, what did he do other than being a street car conductor, though? Where else are you going to get that kind of money? I mean, where's he get? Where, you know what? I feel like I missed a lot.
Yeah, but he was like 16 years older than her too. So, I mean, I have a friend who went for a man, you know, that was basically her dad's age. I mean, she loves him and they're still married, but she feels that it stems too from, you know, her father leaving and stuff and whatnot. My sister's same thing. Her husband's 25, I think, years older than her. 20, well, you know, somewhere around there. So yeah,
my
daddy issues.
Yeah.
Well, I'm 13. Well, Shan's, 12, over me, but it wasn't because of that. But some women,
yeah,
go for the older because they feel.
Well, a lot of times it's about stability. They want a man that's more mature. If you're doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Like for my great grandmother, she was married to a man that was 20 years older than her, but she had a horrible, insufferable home life that she wanted to get away from. Her father had remarried someone that was horrible to her. And, at that time, this is out in the country and this is Europe and it's the 1800s or whatever. And,
yeah.
So we're early 1900s, would have been the early 1900s, correction.
I can easily, explain a lot of today's psychosis and mental problems and stuff because of, I don't know how anybody feels, and I'm not judging anyone's religion, but a lot of the patriarchal and how they just shoved all of this, you can't do this. It's just putting so much of that
tightening.
They
tightening.
created disease.
Yes, it twists
and
people.
It turned, yes, and it created so that people, as they,
bless Leslie, bless your dog. Old dog seems to have had a scary moment. Off to the vets. Bless your old pup.
sorry,
Bless.
baby.
Just wanted to tell
Flip to
you
the
that.
fur baby.
Yeah, my candle's lit and be praying all night for the old man. Okay.
Sorry, honey.
So, oh, is there somebody new here? Tara living with Manassa. Oh, hello.
Oh, Manassa. Yes, Manassa. Hello. I
To
think
cross paths. I wanted to look at her and
Manassa's been on
the
with
dream.
I'm gonna see, I'm gonna jump on the phone, but
Mhm.
maybe Manassa will mention it, but she's I met her through Sonia and EQ from the Soul Sisters.
Oh, I love them. I've got EQ and I have got to reschedule a crime thing because she likes to do that with me as well sometimes. So it's like, yeah, that's
Oh,
fun.
that'd be great to do like a.
We should. We'll do that. Yes, we've got to do that.
I would love that.
I got to see
Kala
when her
Lily's
time.
here. Hi, Kala Lily.
Yes, I love Calla Lily, and I love her name because Calla Lilies were the flowers my grandmother carried in her bouquet. I've got a picture of
There's
her.
people who want to know who we're reading on.
Okay, sorry.
we're-
It is Evelyn Dick, and it's a crime that if you go up to the top of the chat, there will be a pinned comment that will link you to the subject of this crime chat that we're going over. And it is the case of a very well-known Canadian case out of Hamilton, Ontario, the Evelyn Dick torso murder. And we are reading about what happened after she was released in 1985. And we see that she nabbed a few more men before she was institutionalized in all likelihood in some manner. And we both got.
Oh, I'm sorry, sweetheart.
That's okay. And we both got that there was a development of Alzheimer's.
Yeah, that popped up again. That constant split.
Oh yeah.
That constant split.
Split personality too.
Someone, Sheila, popped in too earlier. I just want to say hi to Sheila.
Yes.
If she's still here. Angel Feather.
Mary Queen of Scots was sent to France to be betrothed at 4 years old. Yeah, back in the day, they were expected to marry in their early teen years. Yeah, because the life expectancy and a lot of women died in childbirth. So
I'll grab something to drink really quick.
No worries. Okay. Sometimes women of that time didn't have a choice. That's right, who they were going to marry. And many times, they did it just so that they wouldn't have to become a prostitute. Because that was women weren't supposed to work. So women were not in the workforce and wouldn't be hired if they did, typically. It was, you were lucky if you were widowed and you found somebody that would hire you up as a cook or anything like that. With her, still the 10 of Swords, I was looking at, and the 3 of Pentacles. So I feel like there were 3 men. I do. I feel like there were 3 more after she was released. That's what I was wanting to know. Like after she got out in 1985, how many others then did she go through? And I get 3. And it's reversed. Like she undid him. So I got 3.
85 or 65?
85.
Oh, okay.
That's what I thought I saw. It says, yeah, her pardon, 1985.
Okay, wow. She was in there for a while. Okay.
Yeah, convicted of murder until her pardon in 1985. Her trial remains among the most sensationalized events in Canadian criminal history. And again, I'm going to grab the serial nappers.
That was a great year for music.
Let's see, I was all of I think 16. Yeah. So here's again a link. That's pardon me if you hear my husband. He's still, you can hear he's I'm not feeling too bad how they were talking. That's good.
Yeah, Shan had to have hernia surgery in
You have one, you
January.
tend to have the other one done at some point.
Well, when
That's
he
what
was
happened with
younger,
mine.
but this now, when I'm working so hard pushing it, that the hernia just opened right up, and he was like, "Honey, you
Oh.
gotta get me to the." Yeah, his
Uh-huh.
guts were coming out. Yeah,
Oh, oh, oh,
and I
oh.
had to rush him in, and yeah, my poor sweetheart.
I'm glad. I'm glad that you were
And
there
he
to
never
do
had
that.
anesthesia and stuff before, so he was nervous, and
Sure.
his body
Especially,
had a negative response to it, and I had to rush him back in that night because it
oh,
wasn't leaving the anesthesia wasn't leaving his body fast enough, and he felt
oh,
like he was having a heart attack. I mean, you can imagine me trying to drive my sweetheart to the.
oh
Oh,
God. Oh, Heather, I'm so glad that he's okay. And
oh yeah, me too.
oh my goodness.
He's a tough old bird.
Yes. We
So
need,
I hope your hubby. I'm sure. I know your hubby's going to be just fine, but you know,
yeah. He's
I'm there. I've been there with him with
I
his. I
just
know it's
hate
hard.
that I just hate that any of them, it's like till you see that they healed and no chance of
Mhm.
infection.
Hi,
So
Paula.
I got that she did this to 3 more men after she was released, and then I think she would have passed. I think there
Wow.
were three, and I felt like three. I think three is
I
her
was
lucky number.
hoping, that she would just let them live this time instead of taking the chance of being
Like
caught.
maybe he was an extra great guy, you know? Let him live. But all about the money.
Hmm.
Knight of Pentacles. And I think, again, she wanted domination. She wanted dominion, control over these men. That's what I get. So I think she's
Oh,
very similar to Lizzie Borden.
this is interesting.
I did not anticipate that. Hello, Paula.
When you said 3 men, honey,
Mm-hmm.
I kid you not. At the bottom of my deck, King of Swords. Then on the top, King of Wands,
Same Calla Lily.
and then the Emperor.
1, 2, 3. Husbands, bye
There's the men.
bye.
Boom.
Doo-doo. Oh my God.
And I got the, kind of the, oh, kind of help me. I'm, kind
I'm
of,
so. Never mind the knife behind my back.
yep.
My goodness. So I think we pretty well covered her case. And does you guys, if you want to ask any questions or have
Mhm.
us read on true crime or your whatever, just let us know. Just put it in all caps. I'm very comfortable. Heather, you just let me know if you're comfortable or whatever. If you need to go to
Yeah, I
bed
told
or
Shan I like being up at night. It's quiet. He
me
sleeps, and
too.
I
And
get,
it's this neighborhood's so noisy and this is the most quiet and I can relax. And it's like, yeah,
and I think I'm going to do after hours some night when you're up. 'Cause I know you like to be up.
mm-hmm,
I think I'm going to be going on like around 11 o'clock at night and do about. I was doing pulls last night, single cards, so for
that's
about an
fun.
hour. So if you ever want to join me, let me know. I'll probably do one
I do.
tomorrow night.
Ooh, I might well. I might well. That sounds
Mm.
like fun.
I'm gonna
And
call it After Hours with
yeah,
Indigo because it's a dark color.
that's pretty. Guys, I can see the moon right through my skylight.
Oh,
I just looked up and there's the moon looking
I
at
wish I
me.
had a skylight. Oh, to be able to lay there and look up at the.
It's nice. I like that. It's like, maybe I'm just going to stay out in the living room.
Dawn wants to know if you can do PayPal.
Yes. And Dawn, here's the link. This link will link you to my PayPal and all of that. So it's super easy. We'll take you to my link tree. And what you'll see is music playlist, YouTube, and you can just go down and you'll see PayPal. So it's super easy. And there's also Venmo, but I do prefer PayPal because it's just Venmo too. It goes straight on into my account. No
And you and I were
problems.
talking about Linktree once before because I
Yes,
have a
it's
Cash App.
this is really cool because you can put your email, your social media links all in one place, and it's just boom, boom, boom. And then people can go, got it. So I really like that. And I took this off of somebody else, another tarot reader's thing. So whoever it was, I can't remember, but thank you.
We did
Amazing.
get a question from Kala Lily. Keegan
Oh,
Klein, and
yes. I feel like they are. So, but
the name's familiar.
it's about it's the Abby and Libby on the case in, was it Iowa or Indiana?
Oh,
The girls that were up
Delphi
on that
murders.
trestle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Delphi murders. The two
Delphi.
girls.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you, Desert Dawn.
Heather, do you have one of those? Kala Lily, I have Cash App, and I am under Indigo Tarot.
And
So it's
that,
dollar sign Indigo Tarot.
let me see if I can find.
Yeah, because I guess some egos were kind of rubbed the wrong way. I was removed as a reader from that place I was telling you about in Tonawanda from Rising Goddess.
Why? Sorry, I'm just like, what? What?
So
Some.
I need to kind of see if I can bring in some extra income.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I would would love to be able to talk to you after, because I was wondering if you could maybe pull a few cards for me,
Yes.
because I'm too close to
It's so hard to read on yourself. I've
hmm
spent most of the day trying to do that.
But so this is my gig now. So if I could start maybe bringing in a little extra here and they're just little tiny donations, because I do enjoy and love reading for people.
That's right. And it's
Um,
it's it's energy, and there's I for me it's the only employment that I have. I can't go out there and dig a ditch. So, you know, I
and this
throw
is way too
cards.
that I can be careful I
Yeah.
don't lose my disability. So
That's right. And you
you
can
know
earn some coffee money. You can pay a bill, a light bill, if
exactly,
or
or more tarot cards.
medication. Yes. And that's to be compensated for your time is it's important that we value and know our value. Um and not think that we have to do everything for free, because we don't. I've made that mistake, and I learned very quickly that's not the way to do it.
And I was supposed to read last night for Ukraine charity, and I was removed from that too.
Oh my god, that's so crap.
It's petty.
Very petty. Well, we can do
There
that
should
on
be no
here.
pettiness in the spirituality community.
That what, it's one of the reasons why I really stepped back and away and just kept to myself all this time until I started my channel, because I got so pissed off with woo woo people, or people that were just, I don't know,
I'm
egotistical.
woo. I'm part,
I'm very
Calligraphy
woo.
calls it the wooiverse. The wooiverse.
But you know what I mean. The people
Yes, I
that are
do.
just escapists, they're just using this as escapism, and they think it's all
Yeah.
about ego, and it's not cool. I don't.
Baby fairies and
Hmm.
lollipops, like Doreen Virtue, and I think that's why it
Hmm.
bit her in the ass
It did. Yeah.
and it scared her.
Never liked, I never disliked her. I just was never attracted to her material. And it's not that her material is bad. It's not. It's just, I just never
Everything was just too airy fairy. She never
really, I never read it.
would.
I've never been attracted to read it. I just could not.
Yes, I couldn't. But Kala Lily, I think, says she wants to.
Ooh.
I know they've been arrested. I don't know if there's been a trial.
Oh, right. The
Um,
Delphi girls. This is what
Kala Lily, it's the place Rising Goddess I always talk about. Well, I used to talk about.
Well, I
Yeah.
am. It only means that it is not for you, that there is something that
Mhm.
is for you, and that is not for you.
I was told that I was giving hugs without asking people permission first. That I was a very negative individual.
What?
I
What?
would I
Okay,
would
wait a minute. First, you're
interfere with
giving
converse.
hugs without asking. You're giving hugs without asking, but you're a very negative individual. How does that
Because I
work?
need to learn how to respect people's boundaries. Some people don't want to be,
People,
without being asked first. But nothing got brought up to me before then.
this is some
It got thrown
extra
at me all
spec.
in my face on Tuesday afternoon. that
How
I
unpleasant.
interfered with people's conversations. I made comments
My
about
God.
items in the store that I didn't like and I shouldn't do that. And I'm like,
Well, that I
boy,
could maybe understand, maybe them being a little bit more precious about, but all the rest of this sounds some extra touchy, feely stuff that
yeah, I've had people telling me someone felt threatened, and I'm just like, you know what? There's no need to. There shouldn't be
I
any need
know,
to.
right? I get sick of that too.
I love them.
Yeah,
I'm going to miss them, but
you can't, you're not, yeah, no one needs that kind of crap. That's just,
so I'm
uh,
moving forward.
yes. And it just means there's better things.
Yes. So are we going to read on whether they're going to get
Yes, we wanted to look
convicted?
at those guys if they did it. The father, it's a father and son, and they're both um, uh, SOs. They've offended,
Okay.
and they think I think the thought is that the two of them were involved, and I think intuitively it feels really strong to me, just without cards. Like, yeah.
Yeah, because
Just
I think
saying.
the dad was supposed to be prominent or something, I think, in the community.
I don't know. I haven't read as
People
much.
knew who did it, and I know you dislike Sloan, but she actually did a
Mhm,
reading for the girls, and she says people know exactly who it is.
mhm,
It's the two men, and she was given a description of where they could where the evidence and things that
mhm.
were going on with the girls, and they said it's going to take a while, but they are going to catch these sons of bitches.
Yeah, and I can agree with her on that. I just can't agree with her on the other stuff. There's
Hmm.
bits and pieces, and it's like
I like
I
her
just
channel
can't.
videos where she does the crimes and stuff.
Mm.
I really like those. The father's out, the kid's in jail on other charges. So they
Oh
haven't,
God.
okay, so then they haven't arrested them for the actual murder of the two girls.
Mm-hmm. That's right. They're still looking at them. And Vixen Doe, I see your question about the Slavic ancestors. Just reach out to them. Just start talking to them, and you can look up online for next to nothing, and so that you don't have to invest in a lot of books. If you're on a budget, you can learn so much, because I've been looking more at that part of my ancestry as well. And so I can just tell you what I've been doing. And that is, I just ordered a book, and I'll let you know if it's any good or not, on the Slavic myth and ancestry. And, I found a lot of interesting things just online. So just Google it. And the basic thing is that they're there. They're not like, they're the minute you send the intention, they're picking up. So they're just waiting for you. Um, and you don't have to, do anything special. Just speak your heart. Okay, so we were going to take a look. This is at the Delphi case, and this is at the
The father, the
the Ding
Klein,
Dongs. I'm just trying to get their names up here. I know it was up here.
Keegan, and something
Keegan
else.
Klein. Yeah. And the other guy, I think it's another K name.
Um,
I think you're
well,
right, Doris Smith. Indigo is better at reading the tarot than they are. I feel like somebody's ego needs to be checked there. Somebody doesn't
Keegan
need to
and
be that insecure.
Anthony is the father's name.
Anthony? I thought it was another K name for some reason, but blanked.
Oh, Dora. No, I mean, they've got some really excellent readers there. I just think that
There's probably somebody that's just very
there's some
insecure.
personalities that got rubbed the wrong way, and
And maybe that'll change.
unfortunately,
Maybe fortunately, maybe something will change, in the future. And I'll look at that for you after the show.
that'd be greatly appreciated. Oh, shit.
No problem.
Cards are jumping out on this one. Holy cow.
Yeah, I'm starting to have that issue too.
Well, the first answer to Kala Lily's question, there's
Hmm.
hope. There's the star card. At some point, I think with the two fathers, they're going to be brought together. they're involved. So I think that's the hope, the star for hope that
The son and
that's
the
the first
dad.
card that
Yeah.
jumped out. That
Oh
they are going
God.
to be found.
I get 2 of Pentacles. That makes me feel like yes, because this is like 1, 2.
Mm-hmm.
To me, this is the 2 of them. Okay.
Who does that
And
to 2 young girls?
sick.
You know what I would do? Those people knew who it was. I just hate those guys. I grab those guys. Oh, never mind. YouTube might
We'll talk about that after the
see
show.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Radar.
Yeah. Take 2. So
They all know what.
yeah. Look, they are trying to protect themselves. This is defense. And this 2 of Pentacles, they're trying to keep their necks from the noose, so to speak. And I get the 10 of Wands. They are burdened. They are dirty,
It's the 10
guilty.
again.
Dirty, guilty. 8 of Swords. Look, this is my abduction card.
Oh, Jesus. Guess what I just pulled?
The same. Oh my God, the same. The 8 of Swords. These guys are it.
The first card I got was the Ace of Pentacles, so they're
and
on
that's
the right
a yes.
path.
And then I got the 2 of Pentacles.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Death card.
Yep.
Literally.
And it looks like it could be, in my opinion, and this is my opinion only.
The lovers. The 2 working together.
And again, the team.
Oh,
in a disgusting manner. Yeah. It makes you want to take a shower. Where's my Florida water? Seriously.
You know what?
It's gross. Yep. Oh, it smells nice.
Yeah. This stuff's from Glastonbury.
Ooh, I've been there with
Have
my
you?
kids.
That's one of my
you'll love it.
bucket lists. There is to go there.
Do it.
But it's called Wisdom of Avalon. It's by Elfin Essence, and it smells really good.
Ooh,
a friend of mine sent it to me from there.
Groovy. I'm going to put that
And
down because
very
I
good.
love these different ones. No one is 100% sure about which one is in the picture. But I was going to say, I think it looks like the sun. But that's, again, my opinion only. I think.
Well, it looks like, the person's stature and everything, it speaks of a younger man person, a younger individual, a younger male.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I think that was the maybe the father was waiting around the other way or something.
It's weird. These cards tonight keep starting with 1, with 2, something with
1,
2s.
2.
Whoops! I hate this thing. Urgh.
I know, and you go like, which way is it?
And then that 2, and this. I think these delinquents. One of them thought that
2 of Cups
in their heads that that was the Lover's card, but they're still the same people for the same card.
Yep. And I've got the 2 of Cups here again.
Jeez.
2. This is about these 2 are it as far as I'm concerned. I've never seen the cards pop up for anybody else that I've ever looked at. Honestly,
and these 2 thinking that these young girls would be lover sexual.
Conquests, and they intended to do what they did. This was abduction for horrible purposes.
The thing is, though, they didn't know that the other girl was there, apparently. At least that's the impression. Well,
I don't know.
Well, no, they knew the girls were there, but from what someone was saying that they could hear and see, she could see that the one was saying, "Run, go get help," and instead of running and getting help, she went there to protect her friend. And in the end, they both. Kala Lily. Oh no, you're okay, Kala Lily. Don't worry.
No, it's okay. This is true crime, so
time.
I do it all the time as well. People argue in my house. I'm not kidding. At the Page of Cups, loyal, sensitive. These are the girls. They knew. And the Emperor. That's the father. That's the older one. I think one of them may have targeted, the father may have picked one of them.
Well, he said the Page of Cups. It sounds like the father was the one that controlled the young one and said, "This is who we're going to go after, or this is who you're going to pick up." And I just really wish the parents would just watch what their kids are doing on these. I'm not trying to blame the parents, but at the
It's
same
hard
time,
because you want to let your kids at that age go out, but it's hard. I mean, I didn't tend to let my kids do that, I have to say. And it's not that I think that it's too bad that they can't go to a park and do that, but just because of the way the world is, I since having my girls in the, in the 90s, I say
things
girls,
have
but
changed.
yeah, and
But the thing is, the one girl was going there to meet somebody. It was
the
so it was a
catfishing.
computer online thing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was a phishing.
Catfishing. So
And
that's the
they waited. They
targeting.
watched. They watched her.
Hi, grass grower. It's good to see you. The world is a lot more unsafe for children. It is. I
Yeah.
agree with you. It's just when I had my kids, I realized it's sad, how much I cannot let them do because the way the world has changed. And it's creepy. I have a high fence all the way around my house, and if they were outside, I was outside. So
Yeah, I almost got picked up once as a child on the way home from school. And this was 1970, somewhere between 78 and 80.
oh my God. Oh yeah, I think
And
you
I was
told me
walking
that.
home.
Yeah. Go ahead and tell the viewers though, because they may not
No,
have known.
this kid's really got to be careful because I was walking home from school and this car and it was women. I remember
Yeah.
it was a red two-door sedan and two younger women, probably I would say now looking back, probably would have been in their maybe their 30s or
Mhm.
so, tried getting me to come closer to the car with candy.
Oh my God.
And I said no, and they followed me alongside, and at one point, I took off. And I found out that I wasn't the only child that they approached. And at that time, my dad was friends with the sheriff of Erie County.
Good.
And the minute I got home and told my mom, lieutenants and them were there within minutes, to
That's
find,
so scary. But just
that could have
think,
been me, one of those girls.
you may have inadvertently in some way helped to stop. I hope that they may have found whoever
I
it
don't
was.
know. I never
Don't
found
think
out.
so. There's so much of that creepy crap.
Oh no, Kala Lily.
My sister was picked up.
Oh
Oh my
no.
goodness. I'm so sorry. And
Kala
emmed
Lily. Oh honey.
in a lovely suburban town. He was never
Yep,
caught.
that's where I lived in. I was in,
That's where they
suburban
go
neighborhood.
to. You know, the community that I live in is kind of a bedroom community for we work in San Francisco, and because it's so close. But this place, unfortunately, we get people trying that on, and we hear about them trying to pick up people. And there's been cases back in the 70s and the 80s where unfortunately there was a number of murders, the Gypsy Hill, I think they call them murders, right here in Pacifica, in the town that I live in. So it's like crazy.
Well, Kala Lily, I hope your sister's okay.
I do too. And you let us know if you ever want us to look at that,
Yes.
because it's so crazy how many of them never get caught, and they are actively doing
Yeah, I can
this.
always read on that, see if they ever found those two women that tried picking me up.
Yeah. And what was the
Oh,
intent? Like, were they just selling babies? I mean, do we want to know? I don't know. That
but
was,
women, That's what makes me so sick with this Ghislaine Maxwell. The women are supposed to protect
I have no time for that.
Yeah.
It's like you have betrayed your sisters.
Mm.
They are vulnerable, and you are just as bad, if not worse. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Train in their song Calling All Angels. Kids have to play inside so they won't disappear. It's true.
She's not all right. She never was after that. Well, Kyle
Yeah.
Lily, hope she gets help. There are a lot of good groups and programs out there that help with trauma and PTSD.
Yeah.
That can help her through that. If you wanna, message me, um, let me know.
She says that was in the 60s. um, that's just, I'm too scared to look at my sister's monster. That's all right. We don't have to. Because there's no, but don't
I
worry.
hope they were caught though and brought to justice.
Yeah, or I hope they got caught under a bus.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
You
I'm
try to
sure.
hold that case. Well, much love to you and your family and your sister.
Mm-hmm. And protection all the way around you. You're safe.
You know
It's
where to
okay.
reach me, Kyle Lily. Email me if you need to. I'm here.
Okay, so what were we looking on?
Well,
Reading
we were wondering
on.
if the Kleins were going to get, arrested.
Okay, let's see. Will the Kleins?
So many people know that it's them.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen. I've read on this case for a long years, and I'm sure like Heather probably has too. And this has never come this clear to me. And then you and I getting the same cards with these guys, yeah, that seals it for me. It does stay with you for a lifetime. It does. Yeah, I was raped when I was 13, and I can tell you, it messes you up. I've had to do, and I'm still doing so much work
Have you
try
ever
to be
tried that
normal.
EMDR that's popular?
No, but I'd like to.
A girl in one of my groups, she was assaulted as well. And she says that was some of the most painful shit she ever did through the EMDR, but she says it did wonders to help her.
Yeah, I would like to. I would like to do that work. I would like to just clear it. Just clear it.
I was
Tammy
supposed
says,
to start, and then COVID hit.
yeah, like I was supposed to move, then COVID hit. Now I'm sleeping in my living room with the sofa upside down. Tammy, I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
that's where I'm in. Our bed's right there.
I'm comfortable now. Damn it, I don't care anymore. I'm so sorry, though. Tammy was 7. There's a lot. Most women, have been.
Well, I was sexually molested by my brother, who I trusted.
That's awful.
I
I'm
didn't
sorry.
know really any different because I loved my brother and he knew that, and so
Yeah, and you're younger. Next door neighbor, he was 18 at the time. The person that did this was a friend of my brother's.
1 in 3 women
And he
who
was
knows how
17.
many men, because boys and men do not want to come forward with that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And there's more of that goes on than you think. Okay, I get the 5 of Swords. So there's some kind of discussion or persuasion going on with regard to these guys. And I do get the Magician. So I feel like they're using their tools and they're discussing how they're going to do this with these guys. Strategy.
King of Swords, like you just said, strategy. There's the men. They're getting their evidence. They're building up their evidence. To me, Pentacles, of course, are not just money, but to me, this is evidence that they're collecting. it's going to, with the Fool, it could be either that it's going to help them explore the case better, or it may be that someone comes forward. She's coming out with information, but they are keeping an eye on these men. So it's been too damn long. And then I got
Mm-hmm.
another 10 of Cups. So possibly it will end in a celebration of sorts.
I think so. I get the Queen of Swords, which is about independence and clarity.
Oh, you got the
So,
Queen and I got the King.
and that was next to that table of discussion and the Magician. And then there's the Nine of Pentacles. So it's like they get some sort of plan or some sort of evidence. I think that's really as tight as they can make it with that abundance and security. I think they're trying to be very, very careful.
Yeah, but still, since what, 2015, 16?
I'm so over
With
it.
DNA, they have the girls' bodies, they have the stuff that, the
Yeah.
forensics.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
So it looks to me like there's some kind of independence, security. I don't know if this is independent testing or somebody coming in and doing something, but I feel like they are going to pull out all the stops for this. Knight of Pentacles, they are devoted, apparently, and the King of Cups. So this could also be the father and the son, because a knight can be somebody typically up to the age of 34, 35.
Yeah.
So this could be also.
Well, yeah, they're fast forwarding. They're not thinking. They're all about impulse.
Judgment.
It's
I'm
that
getting
impulse.
I'm getting judgment, and I'm getting breakthrough, recovery, solitude. So I think, yeah, they do go away. Yeah.
Justice.
Yep.
And I got the Two of Pentacles. So I'm thinking that they're either trying to balance their evidence, or also, I just had it in my mind. The two are trying to balance out their stories.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of juggling going around. But I think you said you got the Justice, and
I got judgment. So like they're held to
Judgment.
account.
Oh, so I got
Yeah.
Justice. To me,
So
it's
they
basically the same.
same thing. Well, yeah, but this really, it says that, yeah, they're going to go, I think, be locked up.
Yep, and the world's gonna know.
Mm-hmm. Keegan's in his 20s. That could be, yeah, a knight can be up to the in the 30s. If they're kind of immature, especially. So we see them going away. Let's see. There's some questions. I know I grabbed one here. I starred some. Oh, I wanted to see Vixen Does. I almost killed an ex-boyfriend when he tried to climb on top of me. He had a bad heart. If I had hit him hard enough, it wouldn't have been good. Could have gone into, what do they call that, in the change in the rhythm, and they go into a heart attack. That's a good thing to remember if you're ever being assaulted. You can't push somebody off of you. Also, hit them in the throat, the eyes.
Right there. Just.
Mm-hmm.
Or right between, especially when I walk to my car keys, and I have a long one. So I just, aim right for that eye.
Yuck.
You have to. And the thing is that we shouldn't have to be having these discussions on how to protect ourselves from men.
It's terrible. Like, men cannot, not all of them, but
women, children.
Yeah. Anything that is vulnerable.
There should be no reasons why we should be teaching women, carry your car keys, keep pepper spray on you. No, this is bullshit. We shouldn't have to.
I agree.
Excuse my language.
No, I totally agree.
There's that car that just flew out again with these two guys. I think they're juggling their stories. They're trying to balance. There's a lot of, and I know these people must have connections in the community.
Mm-hmm. I've taken your question down, grass grower. I'm going to put it up here.
Okay.
Oh, were you done with the?
Yeah. Oh,
If you,
yeah. I didn't
okay.
realize there was another question.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you're taking questions, but I had a dear friend of mine named Kevin who is going through some problems, and I'd like a reading to help him out. Sure. Um, he is extremely depressed and has a lot of different issues. I've done a lot of practice for him, but I'd like to know what is the best route forward for him. Okay. Let's
Well, I
see
can
what.
make a recommendation right before, without even cards. Um, First of all, your friend cannot help. You cannot help your friend if your friend does not want to seek help.
True.
Um, I
They
hope
have
he
to.
has and is willing to at least see a counselor. Um, this day and age, it really has to be the person who wants to get the help to go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you ever hear him threatening to kill himself, or you feel that he is in a mental state where he's going to hurt you or anybody else, you do need to let authorities know. And I know that
Yeah.
that can get me into some hot water with fellow peers, but there's a certain line that you cannot cross depending on how extreme his diagnoses are. You know him best, and of course, this is entertainment purposes only. I am not a doctor, but I do have several mental health diagnoses, and I've been in and out of the hospital a couple times. And you really need to have him reach out to a crisis center, um, one of his doctors, and if he refuses, then there's really nothing else you can do for him because he has to want it or he needs to get help to get him into a state of mind where he is able to help himself.
Um, for him, I'm getting the Ten of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress, and then I get the Eight of Cups. Now, I don't know if this was a wife, a mother, um, something connected with family that's coming up with him, and there's a walking away. Um, I don't know how that all fits in, but he needs clarity with the Ace of Swords. He does need to have someone to talk to and to get clarity with. And, you can only do so much. So, again, this is also about at least getting to the truth, getting clarity and intelligence and judgment. This is taking ownership also and responsibility for himself because that's all he can do. He cannot, control what other people, all he can do is control his reaction. So he's getting the Ace of Swords. He's got to make up his mind for himself, just like Heather was saying, and decide that seeing the bigger picture, I think you might be able to help him to do that. There may be some women within your practice, I don't know, that may have some key information that is helpful here to help him move beyond this. But it looks like there's a lot of support coming in and creative support. It's nurturing with the Empress. But he's going to have to, again, there's the clarity. And I think it will help him to feel safe enough to kind of open up and start to see a bigger picture, like maybe doing what he needs to do to get the extra help. I mean, like you can help him to a point, but I think this is where it looks like then he's ready to pick up and take up what he can do for himself. And that looks good, actually, with that judgment and that breakthrough. And the Eight of Pentacles, I think there's creativity, keeping him busy with something with the hands and making things. is also important. Mastery, reputation, mastery of himself, working on himself. And with any, there's visualization as well. I think, is he open to going to some of the Buddhist chants and things like that? It might be very good for him because this is kind of the over and over thing. And this is the Seven of Cups, it's visualization. But he's got to work on definitely being more realistic. That shows up with the Ace of Swords, and that Seven of Cups can be a tendency towards fantasy or escapism too. So mastery can be about cutting through illusion. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Tammy.
Tammy, thank you.
Thank
So
you.
this is your friend.
Two of Pentacles and the Magician.
There
Yeah.
there is hope.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I see it very positive.
And for him, it feels like he's waiting for the help, but he needs to start going and getting the help. But I like this three because there are, he's got two people on both sides, and he's holding, and this one's holding the other staff, and there's these two ships coming to him. So it looks like he's getting himself grounded. He knows he's supported by you and others, and that help is coming. Because right now, yes, he is suffering. And if he doesn't get help, it's going to get worse. And Maya said something about a woman, and it could very well be Queen of Swords. Um, that has to do not necessarily, of course, with gender, but still the intellect working towards mental clarity.
Yes.
The women are, the ones that are the masters of this suit. So for me, this feels like maybe a therapist or a doctor with a special degree. And and with the last card here too, it's going to be a slow process.
Yeah. I got the same
But it
card.
can be happen. But it can happen because the last time I had to go to the hospital, it's taken me almost a good 2 years. You would not have known. Yeah. So it's not going to be done overnight. But I like what Maya said. If you can get him through difficult moments, using art, going for walks, music or something to get his mind distracted from, even if it's just playing games like I See, I Spy. These are things I've learned in groups where when we start getting anxious or we start getting scared or our mind starts to race, we do the deep breathe. There's deep breathing that you can do. There's also kind of like sitting there and going, okay, the walls are brown. Okay, the the rug is blue. That rug feels really good on them. Things to bring you ground and center into yourself. So, but he does need to get help.
I
But
see.
there's hope.
There's a lot of hope.
Yeah.
I get the Ace of Pentacles and the Two of Cups. So I feel like eventually he'll get to a point where there's a new start in his life, and there's more balance and harmony within.
A respected practitioner.
Mm-hmm.
What does he mean by
Buddhism.
that?
Buddhism.
Oh, he's a Buddhist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well then meditation and everything.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, yes, the chanting.
It's very auspicious. He's going to get through it. It's a dark night of the soul, but he's just got to come and realize his ability to communicate, use his tools, and it is kind of like juggling, managing this. And I think it'll get a little easier and a little easier and a little easier. And I just feel like he kind of shifts into a more harmonious energy. And I do get like what I feel like is goddess energy with that Empress for sure. And there was another one that made me feel like, oh yeah, here she is, the Earth Mother.
There's some serious issues from spirit harm. What does he mean? Does he have an attachment to him? An entity? Someone put energy? Is that what grass grower is? Because I know a lot of people see, one of the things is with the mental health, um, not just community, but mental health in general, is that yes, on one hand, people are putting medicines and things and chemicals into their body that's not good for them. And yes, I understand that Buddhism, they want to be very natural, they want to use holistic practices, but for some of us, we need a balance of both.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, speaking personally, I need a balance of both because without the medication, it took a while. That's why it took 2 years. But through medication, it helped me get to a state of mind where I could resume my meditation,
Yep.
my artwork, my studies. So that
Made it
might be
possible.
part of a conflict. And at some point, maybe medications won't be necessary because now that there's more accepted using CBD over the counter, a lot of states are allowing medicinal marijuana to be used, and that's going to help people with sleeping better, possibly less medications. But for right now, if that might be part of what worries him or concerns him, at least help himself get balanced to the point where he can think more clearly. And then through that meditation and that chanting that he loves to do, um, he can find that balance, he can find that peace, and start working on what needs to be worked on.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a process. It's definitely a dark night of the soul type of thing. But when he comes through this, I get that he's worked out the issues. He's worked
Hmm.
out he's worked
He's going to be more
he's
grounded in himself.
purged. There's
Hmm.
something purging. So there
I
will be
love that word,
harmony.
Maya.
Yeah,
Purging.
it has been my word for the day because it's what I'm doing on my own stuff. And it keeps showing up in my own cars. It's like, yes, I know I'm purging. It's like, purge some more. Okay. Um, but I see him doing that and just doing it more mindfully. And I think then he comes back to a lovely balance, uh, you know, two of pentacles and the two of
Hmm.
cups. So there's like energies that are shifting, that will shift into a more harmonious state within him. And those attachments, anything negative, I would say, will be diminished, maybe even gone at this point, because this really feels good.
I saw his comment about the spirit harm.
Mm. And yeah, and I get the Knight of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles. So then he's back to feeling free and his own agent and able
Does he
to
believe in
do
Reiki?
things.
Is he open to Reiki? I'm assuming with Buddhism he would be. Maybe he could have some people in the meantime do some Reiki healing on him.
Yeah, all kinds of body work, energy work
Mm-hmm.
is really good. Yes, my screen will bounce from time to time because I'm on my bed. I don't think it's bouncing continuously, but if it is, I'm sorry. I'm trying to hold still. Okay. So, no problem. No
Yes,
problem.
you're welcome.
Okay. Well, I think that's good. Let me just double check. Wait a minute. Let me make sure I got everything. Yes. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because we're over the 2 hour mark. And I think we've
Already,
answered the
wow.
questions. Yeah. Can you believe it? So
No, because it's enjoyable, even though the subject matter is
is hard. Yeah.
is
But
hard.
there's a satisfaction I get in working on just bringing stories to light. I think there's something that we do benefit by bringing just awareness to
Mm-hmm.
something that maybe people didn't know before. I think somehow that loosens that up for the truth to come out. I really do at some point when we touch on these cases and stuff. I do. So, anyway, you guys, it's been a great evening, and thank you
Yes.
all so much. Thank you for your time.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Your
you for your
questions.
donations and your
Yes.
attention and your thumbs
Most welcome.
ups, please.
Yes.
And I will see you back here next Thursday evening. And if you have a true crime or request, just put it in the comments and I will take note because I go back through them and comb through them and try to grab up and see what somebody wants, just like I did with this case with Evelyn Dick. So anyway, I'll see you guys later.
Yes.
Love
Bye,
you.
everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.